I mean, that rhetoric, I'm sure, bothers you.
Oh yeah, it's crazy, and it makes us seem like extremist Democrats, right? And so Marjorie and AOC can go join the defund the law enforcement club if they want. 99% of Republicans are not on that train. What we want is accountability. We want transparency, and the criticisms that we're leveling against the FBI and DOJ are fully warranted. It is not those criticisms that lead to a crazy person, attacking an FBI.
Oh no, I'm not saying that.
Oh no, Dan. Oh no, Dan. Congressman Dan Crenshaw went on CNN to accomplish two things. Let's keep it real. Number one was to downplay all of this talk about violence and how many people in his party are inciting violence against the FBI based off of that search. Number two was to downplay that person, but number two was actually to continue to say Donald Trump was treated unfairly in that same FBI search, which of course will lead to many of their followers being violent, the thing that he said that they're not inciting them to do. We're gonna go through why he went through all this as well. But he mentioned how 99% of Republicans aren't on that train. We're not about the going after the FBI and the violence. That's just Marjorie Taylor Greene. So it's pretty obvious that everyone in this next video is named Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let's watch.
I think that we'd be better off to think of these people as wolves. Wolves, who want to eat you. Wolves who want to dominate.
They think that people are just going to lay down and say, oh no, it looks like criminal activity. No, people distrust so much the government.
They are at war with the American people. They are desperately trying to have the deep state stay on top of the American people.
Newt is right, they're all right. This is the worst attack on this republic in modern history, period.
Rest assured, this act by the FBI, by Merrick Garland, the DOJ, and the White House that had to approve all of it is a declaration of war against peaceful American citizens.
And it's not just an attack on Donald Trump. It's an attack on everybody who supports him.
It's a sad day for the country because this truly is an attack on our constitutional republic.
This is not America.
This is not America. Maybe you should leave. Oh, that's what you guys always say when people are upset about what's going on in the country. Let's keep it real. So again, all those folks that are talking about this is war, this attack on all of you, they're coming after everyone. What are you gonna do about it? Newt Gingrich mentions they just want the deep state to stay on top of people. Newt Gingrich, who was Speaker of their House in the 90s, was the deep state there then, or did it just pop up since Donald Trump has been talking about it? Was it there when you were Speaker of the House, Newt? Were you keeping the deep state on top of everyone, Newt? Because you were a politician, in case you guys forgot. This guy is complaining about the state of the deep state after he was a part of it. Which one is it, Newt? Anyways, all those people apparently named Marjorie Taylor Greene, but there's other people. Here's another Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's the only 1% of the Republican Party that's inciting violence. Steven Crowder said this: tomorrow is war. He's a conservative commentator with nearly 2 million Twitter followers. He wrote this on his site, hours of the FBI search. He says, sleep well. Steven Crowder's name doesn't look a lot like Marjorie Taylor Greene's name. There's another one. It said, this means war. The Gateway Pundit, which is a pro-Trump outlet, wrote this in an online post that was quickly amplified by a Telegram account connected to Stephen Bannon, Mr. Trump's one-time political advisor. None of those names say Marjorie Taylor Greene. Here's more. Hours later, on the podcast, Bannon's War Room, Joe Kent, who's a Trump-endorsed House candidate in Washington, was asked by the host for his assessment of the search. This just shows everyone what many of us have been saying for a very long time. We're at war. That name is not Marjorie Taylor Greene. Here's one more person, another one. Here's a tweet. She says, this is it. This is Monica Crowley. This is it. This is the hill to die on. That's weird because there's people who are attacking FBI offices, one in particular in Cincinnati a couple of weeks ago, and he did die on that hill, except it was a cornfield in the middle of Ohio. That was the hill he died on, and apparently more people need to do so. This is from the New York Young Republicans Club. International forces and their allies intent on undermining the foundation of our republic have crossed the Rubicon. And it's the expressed belief of the New York Young Republican Club that should justice not be carried out swiftly on these matters by all our elected officials and leaders, nothing less than the future of the union is on the line. The future of the union's on the line. Sounds like more than that 1%, Crenshaw. First, let's talk about these insane threats and how they continue on and over again. And also Dan Crenshaw's, his crusade to make sure no one really believes what they're seeing in front of their faces. Jackson.
So I think it's important for people when they think about Dan Crenshaw to remember that he's one of the biggest proponents of upholding the petrodollar in the world, in the United States, especially because of his military background. He's one of the main people that they have, that they parade in the media to say, like, United States has to maintain control of world oil trade and stuff like that. So he's always parading war, which is just one of the ironies to where he said, 99% of Republicans aren't on board with this type of stuff. And then he says that, they're being made out to be like extremist Democrats. But the reality is that Republicans, outside of all the different things that we looked at, they all vote like a homogenous block of cheese. They all vote, 99% of the time, they're all on board with the same types of policies. You look at the right-wing forums and the right-wing chat rooms, the YouTube channels, where people are all homogenously complaining basically that people who aren't white are having access to things. And then we just saw the videos. So, I mean, these people have absolutely no credibility, but that doesn't matter.
Well, Crenshaw also continued as he was talking about this, because I'm willing to anger people in my party too, but he wasn't fully ready to anger folks in his party, because again, as I mentioned, the second half of this appearance, the whole point was then to say, but Donald Trump was treated unfairly, and how about those dirty FBI agents, and look what they're doing as nefarious actions. It's almost like he doesn't mean what he said in the first part. So let's watch what he was saying as far as defending Donald Trump and this particular search. Let's go.
Why not just ask him? Why not just ask him?
Did they? I thought they'd been negotiating and trying to get the information from him, and
he cooperated.
But he didn't turn over boxes and boxes of material, as far as the Justice Department says.
But he's been cooperating, and I think he's on the record saying, whatever you need from us, just ask. It's great to see you guys. I mean, it was a very friendly environment.
But his lawyer said they didn't have any more classified information, and the Justice Department said, yes, you do, and they went and got it.
But look, yes, the lawyers did sign that document. That they have nothing left. Now, that's either a huge mistake on part of the lawyers, but even if it was nefarious, again, why not say, hey, we don't believe you. Now let us come back and let's go through these boxes again. There's tons of boxes here. I mean, do any of us really believe that Donald Trump is like reading his nuclear secrets on his bedside at night? There's an intent question here.
You see how he's posing that whole thing? So he goes through this whole thing. Well, first off, he was asked multiple times, or at least pointed out that the FBI said, yeah, they said, or he signed, his lawyer signed this document saying, yeah, we've given you everything. And when it came back and it finds out that they're still there, how come they didn't just keep asking him? After he completely lied to FBI authorities, why didn't they just keep asking him? Say, oh, Donnie, you signed this whole thing, you promised that you gave us everything, but we discovered you still have it. Hey, can we pretty please now have it? Because that's what we're actually asking for. It was a very nice situation. They were discussing and they had good rapport. How come they wouldn't just keep asking him over and over and over again? This guy who's breaking the law knowingly at this point, we know. How come he didn't just keep having this open dialogue? There's more, because Crenshaw decided to play dumb about the reasons why they did it again. If they just came up with some kind of reason, if they just explained it to us, let's watch.
It's hard to justify what the Department of Justice did here, in my opinion. And here's why. Here's what it really boils down to. It's not a question that it's bad to have classified material in a non-SCIF environment, right? So that's a non-secret compartmentalized infrastructure there. That's wrong. But there's ways to mitigate that. There's ways to resolve that issue. And I still haven't seen any evidence that that Trump was even asked to give these documents back. He's been cooperating with them on these issues for a while now, for months. And so why take it to this extreme extent? And I think that's why you're seeing so much backlash from Republicans. You're seeing everyone coalesce. It doesn't matter what side of the issue they're on with Trump. You've seen a lot coalesce around this one because it does seem unjust.
Now he's pointing out how we see why there's backlash around this. It's not violence. It's not that 99% of Republicans don't agree with this. It's now you're seeing the backlash. You see how it's now characterized as backlash, not violence, not threats, and not attempts to kill people, not running up in an FBI office with a nail gun and then strapping a couple other guns to you as well while you run. Is that what it's called? Is that what it is? It's backlash now. It's not actual violence, and we're not actually supporting it. It's just happening because of these very good reasons. You guys see how this works? When people get justified for the violence that they do, then afterwards they go, well, Dan Crenshaw and the rest of the Republican Party that I follow told me what I'm doing is okay, so it's okay. I'm not like those other guys. I'm not like Marjorie Taylor Greene. What are your last thoughts on this, Jackson? Because I just want to point out how the spin works on their followers.
Yeah, and he's not like all the other Republicans because he's willing to come out and say, well, I understand why we're having a backlash, but let's not actually have any consequences. Because, do you really think that this idiot Donald Trump's sitting there reading this stuff? I mean, come on, he's a moron.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like they approach it like that. Yet at the same time, you people can't navigate away from him. Not even Ron DeSantis, who of course is the future of the Republican Party in terms of federal leadership, but you can't even make that jump now. You have to basically wait until Donald Trump is dead or in jail. I mean, essentially, that's practically what we're dealing with. But it's so ridiculous that they're upholding this idiot who they know is a moron, but they made their bed. So what else can they do?
You can't detach from it now, because now your political futures are on the line, and your access to the most important thing to them, power, is on the line. And Donald Trump is that power. So you got to attach yourself to his ass.